there's something so exciting about being at a live show. And in the winter, because it's not 1,000 degrees outside. Do you ever think about that? Like, you get a little bit more claustrophobic when it's like 102 degrees outside and you're sitting in an air-conditioned theater waiting for a show to be over? Oh my God. But the point is that, like, there's nothing better, even if it's terrible, like, you can leave if it's terrible, and I often do, but just sitting in a theater before a show, like, is there anything more exciting? Like going to Lincoln Center and those wonderful light fixtures that fade up, I mean, that's just, whoever thought of that, right, is a genius. I think a lot about, you know, when I was a kid looking at New York City Ballet, and I was so moved by that, you know, in the late 70s and the early 1980s, and it was every night of my life, you know, and American Ballet Theater, right? And also I think about having looked at a lot of Merce Cunningham, like going a lot to see Merce Cunningham, you know. That was also really inspiring to me, and difficult. You know, going to see Merce was difficult. For every sort of 3 shows I saw of Merce Cunningham, I loved one, and the other 2 were just puzzling. But I always loved it. I loved being there and being puzzled, you know. Also, of course, my best friend, Mark Morris. I think, like, one of the great nights of my life was going to this show of his, 2 great nights. One was, well, many great nights with Mark, but one was L'Allegro, his show called L'Allegro, which is a great masterpiece, I think, you know, and you could probably still see that. They probably will do that every year somewhere, right? And the other thing was Dido and Aeneas. I remember seeing that, was just so beautiful. And since then, we've collaborated a lot, you know. The thing about seeing City Ballet in the 70s and 80s was, I didn't really, I mean, I went to Performing Arts High School and I took dance class and I understood what it was, but the reason it was so good was because it was fierce, and it was sexy, and it was deeply moving, and the music was so good, right? That's what I loved about going, was that incredible performative aspect of it, you know? Like, it was a show, right? Ballet now, you know, you go to City Ballet, it's not so much a show as much as like a refined kind of version of something that you're supposed to acquire a taste for, you know? Well, to me, the only way that a taste is going to be acquired is if there is something there to begin with, you know? And there was a lot there. All of those ballerinas, you know, Allegra Kent and, you know, Patricia McBride, and I don't know, these ballerinas that were so, Gelsey Kirkland, I mean, if you watched her, she was like, she was performing her head off, you know? Yeah, Baryshnikov, and so many great dancers, yeah. I loved it. I remember it like yesterday. I love Elizabeth Streb, I love it. It's crazy, and I really love it. I think that's fun to watch, Elizabeth Streb. But she's not so, I mean, she's been at it for a long time, Elizabeth Streb. Pina Bausch, which I used to love so much, or any of those great performance artists. Simon McBurney company for a minute that was doing all those shows that were beyond great. You know, it's not necessarily so much, you know, plays or dance or something. Sometimes it really comes together, you know, like in the case of Pina Bausch, or like Meredith Monk. It was something else. It was like not music, but it is music, you know, yeah. Dance class was for me only to learn more about the subject of dance, which I'm fascinated by, you know. I took ballet classes, I took jazz classes, I took Graham-based modern dance classes. I took all kinds of dance and movement classes. I was terrible in class. I have no kind of ease of movement. It takes a lot out of me to move. I'm not naturally built to move. I mean, I think I have really good musicality and I have good rhythm, but it's really hard for me to move. Well, my favorite movie theater in Manhattan, they're all gone, you know? I mean, I would say the Paris, but I like the Paris. I don't know why, I just didn't like the Paris that much. It was like, what I liked about it was there were no stairs. You just like walk in and you sit down, which is a great thing. But it's like there, and it's all these rich people. Ugh, you know what I mean? It's some like weird foreign thing that I don't even want to see. I didn't love the Paris Theater. Okay, I'm going on record. I did not love the Paris Theater. I mean, I loved the Thalia, where they had this great revival thing. I loved the Regency. That was a great revival thing. Carnegie Hall Cinema, amazing. The Cinema Village, amazing. The Film Forum, boom, I'm there. You know, those are the theaters I love. The Alamo Draft, is that where you get like a drink and a Coke and a beer and a blowjob and what? No, but here's the thing, you can't eat that kind of food in a movie theater. That's not the point. I'm not a multiplex, triplex, monoplex, paratex thing. I'm not. I am a Regal movie theater subscriber, I am, yes. But only because you have to eventually see the Joker, you do. Even though you know it's gonna suck, you have to see it, right?
Did you see the Joker?
No, I didn't, not yet. But I will. You know what I miss? I miss movie phone. Do you miss movie phone as much as me? Hello and welcome to movie. Remember that? I miss it. I miss movie phone because you don't need movie phone anymore because everybody has, right? I don't like knowing where I'm gonna sit. I don't like pre-arranged seating for movies. I don't. I like getting there at the last minute and knowing there's gonna be a showing, right? And picking a really obscure time when I know lots of people won't be there, you know? But the point is that like, if you're me, right? Eating out and seeing shows, like there is nothing better than that. Like if I were, what's her name? That sort of thick black singer who's so great that everybody loves right now. Who?
Oh, Lizzo?
Lizzo. You know how Lizzo makes the audience like scream back at her? Like I would get my audience to scream at me like they eat out, they see shows. That's my fabulous like Lizzo moment. I am 100% that bitch who eats out and sees shows, yeah.